What's a game without a way to lose? Not fun, right? That's why you need a health and damage system for your game. Lucky for you, that is just what I will be setting up in this video. A fast and simple health and damage system that'll work perfectly in your game. Start by finding your player actor, which for me is the one included in the third person template, then open it. Now, under variable, press the plus to make a new one and name it health. Then set it to a float. Then save and compile and go back to the content browser. Next, we need to create a blueprint interface so we can let the player and the damage source communicate. More information on blueprint interfaces in the video and the iCard appearing now. Now we can right click and under Blueprints, select Blueprint Interface and give it a name, then open it. When you open it, you'll see a function. You want to rename it to Take Damage and press enter to accept. Then under inputs, press the plus and make a new float called damage. This is the amount of damage done to an object. Then compile it, and back in the character under class settings, add the interface and compile. Then we can right click and search for the take damage event from the interface. Then we will start by subtracting the damage from our health, and set our health value to the new value. Then, just for testing, we will print it to the screen. Set our health for a default of 100, then save and compile. Now to make something to cause damage to test with. Back in the content browser, we can make a new blueprint class actor and name it, then open it. Then just make a cube component and a box collision size to be bigger than the cube. Then in the event graph, drag out from the actor pin on the actor begin overlap event and call the take damage event and set the damage value to 10, then save and compile and close. Then drag it into the level and press play. If it is working so far, you will see that it will go down by 10 each time you step in it. Without a death system, health is kind of meaningless, so now I will set up a simple respawn system and death UI. Start by right-clicking and searching for a player controller blueprint and name it BP underscore player controller and open it. Then in the event graph, we want to make a new custom event called on death. From it, drag out an unpossessed node. Next, to set up camera fading, drag out a reference to the player camera manager. Then from it, drag out a start camera fade node. Connect to the execute path and set the alpha to 1 with a time of 1 and hold when finished set to true. Now, back in the content browser, we will make a new widget blueprint for the lose screen called You Died. Then open it. In it, all I will do is drag out a canvas panel and a text block roughly centered saying You Died with a big font. Then save and compile. Then back in the player controller, we want to drag out a create widget node and set it to the widget we just made. Next, for owning player, just drag out a self reference, then add the widget to the viewport. Then set a 2-second delay so the player looks at that for 2 seconds. Next, from the return value of the widget, you want to drag out a remove from parent node. Next, we want to go to the game mode that you're using and under class settings, change the parent class to game mode. Then in the controller, you want to drag out a get game mode node, followed by a cast node for your character, then a restart game node connected to the execute path. Then save and compile and go back to the character. Then from the health node, check if the health is 0 or under. Then take out a branch, and if the branch is 2, drag out a get controller node and cast to the controller we just made, then cast the on death event. Next, save and compile, and in the project settings, change the player controller class to the one we just made. Then you can test it by going back to the level and running into the harming box until you die. Now that we have the meat and potatoes of our code, we just need to make it look nice and be polished. The first thing we will do is set our character to ragdoll when dead. To do that, go back to the player pawn. Then, from the true of the branch, add a simulate physics node and set the collision preset in the mesh to ragdoll so you don't fall through the world. There's one more way you can die by default. If you fall out of the world, the engine will just remove your character after you fall too far. This currently does not call our death logic, but to fix that, you can go to your game mode and add a begin play event, then drag out a bind event to on destroyed node. For player character, just get a player character reference. And for event, drag out an add custom event node and name it anything you want. Next, get a player controller reference and cast it to the player controller. Then drag out the on death event. Then save and compile. Finally, we will finish this tutorial by making a simple UI for health. Start by adding a new user widget called UI health. Then open it. Next, add a canvas panel and a text block. Then set the text to a binding. Next, in that binding, drag out a cast node to your character. And use a get player character node for the object input. Then from the as pin, drag out a get health node and put the output into a truncate node that goes into a toString node. Then add an append node with the A text being health colon with a space after it, and the B text being the string for the health value we just got. Finally, put that into the return value and save and compile, then test it out. You now have a fully working health, damage, and death system for your game. If you like this tutorial and want to see more like it each week, please subscribe and hit the bell. If you want early access and want to help me monetarily, I have a Patreon link in the description. If you have any questions, please leave them below or in my Discord. Have a good day, and bye for now.